देश में चावल की बढ़ती कीमतों पर जल्द लगाम लग सकती है। सूत्रों के मुताबिक जो इन्फॉर्मेशन मिली है, सरकार नॉन बासमती चावल के एक्सपोर्ट को बैन करने पर विचार कर रही है।
Hi friends, as on today 13th July, since there is a lot of news about rice export ban coming out, we thought why don't we make a very quick video and talk about this particular news, this particular situation. And we have been tracking this market, this product, this industry for quite some time, right? So I would like to put my facts and opinions as to how I have observed this market. So I remember when I used to make video in 2020, I used to tell everybody that last year India has exported 45,000 crores worth of rice, roughly about 10 million tons of rice. But today, when we make video, I tell that India has exported 90,000 crore worth of rice last year, which is roughly about 20 to 22 million tons of rice, right? So I am very happy in that way is that India has already doubled its export from the last since 2020 in the last 2 to 3 years. So even if Indian government would say want to curtail the exports because of local prices, because of inflation, I think it's a very fair move. As long as the government says, okay, let's go back to for a few months or one or a few cycles, let's go back to 40,000 crore or let's go back to say 10 million tons of exports, that could be a very fair decision. But then I would like to go deeper and give you a little more insight as to how the market has changed and why this news is coming out, and it's a very valid news, right? Like for example, we have identified at PWIP that there are 85 common varieties of rice that are commonly traded. And even on September 9th last year, when this 20% export duty news and the thing happened, it was not implemented on basmati rice. It was not implemented on parboiled rice. You know why? Because if you see basmati rice, there are about 14 to 15 varieties in basmati. The 1121 basmati, the 1509 basmati, it has been roughly around 85 to 90 rupees a kg ex mill for the rice. And it has more or less remained constant, which means there is no threat to the this variety. There is no huge demand which is disproportionate demand. So there is nothing like that. It is very, very stable. So there is no risk. That is why there was no duty. But if you see a little bit of non-basmati varieties are cheaper varieties. It starts anywhere between 25 rupees a kg and it even goes up to about 40 to 50 rupees a kg, but still very much half the price of basmati, right? So if you see where is the best quality of Sona Masuri that is available, the best quality of Sona Masuri that is available is in the regions like Raichur in Karnataka, Siruguppa in Karnataka, Tumkur in Karnataka, Bellary in Karnataka, these kind of places. And in these kind of places, I still remember about 2 to 3 years back when we used to buy rice for our exporters, the rice used to be anywhere between 28 rupees, 29 rupees a kg. And as on today, the Sona Masuri steam price in this Raichur kind of a place in Karnataka is roughly anywhere between 42 to 43 rupees a kg. So you see, there is 10 to 15 rupees per kg that the price has gone up. Now this is a sign that which is directly relating to inflation. This is a direct indication that local prices at the mill level has gone up. Let me pick up one more rice. There is a short grain white rice that is being milled and traded in parts of say Chhattisgarh in Raipur in Chhattisgarh, Gondia in Maharashtra, Andhra Pradesh, and few states, nearby states, which does a lot of short grain white rice and long grain white rice. Even say Mundra, this region which does, Kolkata also the region which does short grain. And I used to note that it was trading anywhere between 22 to 24 rupees a kg, which today is roughly about 30 rupees a kg. The long grain white rice used to be around 26 to 25 to 26 rupees a kg, which is right now around 32 plus rupees a kg. So a jump in 7 rupees, 7 rupees a kg is again an indication that the prices are on the higher side and very disproportionately high. If you talk about parboiled rice, short or long grain, it used to be anywhere between 26 to 28 rupees, which today is about 32 rupees a kg, again on the higher side. If you talk about column rice used to be anywhere between 40 to 45 rupees a kg, which today is about 55 rupees a kg, again a 10 rupees higher. So these are all the common varieties of rice which is normally consumed, which you see there is a price hike of about 7 to 10 to 15 rupees a kg, and this is a very clear indication that there is huge demand and lower supply. Well, there are few exceptions, like for example Gobind Bhog rice in Kolkata. The Gobind Bhog is always around 80 rupees a kg to 90 rupees a kg, sometimes even 100 rupees a kg, but it is very not so commonly used, so the prices don't fluctuate much, right? Same case as Basmati, right? Basmati has been very stable. Now, if I have to break this up and understand what is going around, so since the export duty was in place, it has been a very encouraging for the governments also, that the government is able to control the exports and up the pricing and the revenues to the country, right? Now, what would be an ideal scenario? India being one of the largest producer and exporter of rice, not only India, but a lot of parts of the world feeds on Indian rice, right? So definitely there is an international pressure as well, especially during the case of El Nino, where a lot of countries expect that the temperatures are going on a very increasing levels, and that would create drought kind of situations in South Asian countries. For that reason also, a lot of countries like Vietnam, Indonesia and Philippines and a lot of Southeast Asian countries have been stocking up a lot of rice, and they have been advising their farmers in their country to only go for one crop a year because of the availability of water, right? Now, taking all of this into consideration, I am not sure whether I'm not sure whether the government would put a blanket ban on export of rice. I think Basmati exports will still be allowed. I think even in non-Basmati, I think what the government would do, so out of the 20 million tons of rice that got exported last year, out of the 90,000 crores worth of rice that got exported last year, I think the governments, for example, might decide, okay, let's go half, right? Let's go back to our 40,000 crore level of rice, right? But I'm talking about non-Basmati here, which is out of 20 million, roughly 10 million is non-Basmati, 10 million tons is non-Basmati rice, or say 45,000 crores is non-Basmati rice. And if the government halves it, it's about say 22,500 crores worth of non-Basmati rice, or say it is about out of 20 million, 10 million is non-Basmati, half of it is 5 million tons of non-Basmati. I think this would ideally be a case that I think government would consider, is what I am thinking. Otherwise, if there is a blanket ban, what would happen is a month or two, the quantities in India will also start piling up, right? The mills will start having a lot of stock. The paddy traders will have a lot of stock, and everywhere there's a lot of stock, which again will drop the price to a much lesser extent. And that's good, right? That's what the government is also trying to do. The government wants to help cool down the prices so that the local domestic consumption, the markets are able to afford rice easily. But then over a period of say a month or two, then it's again that we as a country would want to allow a little bit of exports of non-Basmati also happening, right? So like sugar, you have to get a quota to export. So how do you actually curtail the exports of rice, right? How do you track the exports of rice? So the best way by doing it is issuing quota. So if the government says, okay, out of the 10 million tons of non-Basmati exports, let us make a rule that now rice will be exported based on quota, and instead of 10 million tons, I will issue a quota for only 5 million tons, which means only 5 million tons can be exported, and these quotas are issued to exporters. That's the best case that could happen. We at PWIP are also making very gradual changes, and we are on our toes on how this whole thing can be addressed. We are looking into a lot of basmati rice markets. We are looking into a lot of domestic opportunities that we can do, because domestic as a market in India is about $50 billion, roughly about 5 lakh crores is the market. So that is where PWIP is also going towards. PWIP is helping, last year PWIP helped 40,000 tons of rice get exported from India amongst many exporters, and a lot of exporters became first time exporters with us, and we have loved the journey. It was an amazing journey last year. This year, in the first 3 months of operations, we have already done about 35,000 tons, which is about a 90% targets of our last year already, and we are going very strong, right? So I feel the Sona Masuri prices have to come down. White rice, short and long grain prices have to come down. Parboiled rice has to come down. But all other Kolam and HMT and RNR and Sona Masuri prices have to come down. But all other rice are very safe. Is what I feel, right? For people who are in the rice business, people who are in the rice export business, I don't think there is any reason to panic, right? It is one of a case which keeps coming. One thing is we should understand is that we as a country, India, was doing only 45,000 crores worth of rice exports in 2020. That was roughly around 10 million tons. We have already doubled in the last 3 years. So what is the worst that can happen? The worst that can happen is we might have to go back to our 45,000 crore worth of rice export, which is still a big market for all of us to become successful exporters, right? We can go back to 45,000 crores worth of rice export. We can go back to 10 million tons of rice exports, right? The opportunity is still strong, my friends. It is challenges define characters of people, and that's how we take the challenges and turn it into opportunities. And at PWIP, we have already been turning these challenges into opportunities, and the basmati market, the Gobindbhog rice market, and a lot of other varieties of rice like Jaya rice, Kurwa rice. There are 85 varieties of rice that India exports, right? And the domestic market that we are looking into is very strong, which is a great opportunity for all rice businesses to invest in, right? I hope I made sense to this argument. I hope I made some and I gave some enough information that we could break up and analyze this situation. I hope this was useful, my friends. Thank you.